Where you guys, can you just comment where you guys watching from? Where you guys coming? Oh, from Texas. Hey, Texas. How's Texas? How is virtual service in Texas? How is COVID going? So for today, what we're gonna do, very, very simple. There is so this is Pillow Talk, and with Pillow Talk, what we do here is we just talk about everyday stuff, everyday life, the things that we go through, things that we experience. We come on here and we have like normal conversations. You know, the kind of conversations you have with your girlfriends or with your boys, things that you talk privately about that you don't really talk about in public, the deep, serious things. That's what Pillow Talk is all about, where we're just honest with each other and we give ourselves advice on certain things, because sometimes, you know, just having a different perspective, hearing from somebody else, hearing somebody who may have experienced exactly what you're going through, it can help you understand and realize how to maneuver what you're going through. So that's literally what Pillow Talk is. And Chris, like, he's my brother. So, okay. So I thought, you know, this would be the best person to have, as well as Doxa. Doxa too. She's like, you know, she's a sister. They're both so full of insight. They're full of so much information and experience as well. So I think this is gonna be good. Doxa just texted. I think she's 20 minutes away. Well, Rhode Island. Praise God. So we're gonna get started. And what I'm gonna do, I've broken this up into sections, and we're gonna have a section here called "Please Don't Judge Me." Don't judge me. You know, like, we see things trending on social media. We see things trending with all of us, right? And, you know, sometimes when you see something on social media, you quickly send a DM to a friend. Like, yo, look at this. What's going on? And we kind of sometimes tend to look at someone's situation and forget about our very own situation. Like, yo, we've been there. We've all been through that. Like I always say, we look at other people's skeletons and we forget that we have a whole, cemetery in our backyard, a whole cemetery. You're looking at one person's dead body and you forget about that whole cemetery that you have buried. So basically, this is Please Don't Judge Me. And we're taking stories from hot topics, online, headlines, whatever, and we're really getting into those stories. So for today, I came across this thing online. I think it's from like OMG Voice. We're going to try to put the picture on the screen, but I'm also going to read it out loud. It's about a woman. Where is it? Hold on. I'm trying to find this. Okay. So we're going to try to put this picture on the screen from OMG Voice. I got this screenshot from OMG Voice. And so I guess this lady, she's now dating this guy. They've been together. I don't know how long they've been together. But we look at this picture and they look like, you know, life is good. And basically, in the very beginning, she sends him this DM saying, I know this is so weird, but you're really handsome. And if you're not talking to anyone, I'd love to get to know you. Here's my number if you decide to use it. And the guy obviously responds, whatever. But long story short, I guess this is like how it started versus how it ended type of situation.
Yeah. And it's ended beautifully.
Awesome. It's what it looks like. So long story short, this girl, she shot her shot. Shoot your shot, right? She shot her shot, got into the DMs of this man, and today she's very happy. So, like, let's talk about it. There's this culture right now in 2020 where it's like women are getting very bold. We're getting very bold at just going up to men and, hey, I want to date you. What's up? We're getting very bold at just saying what we want. I guess maybe some women are tired of waiting on a guy to, you know, I guess approach her or whatever. So we're just going for the flow. We're going with it. But at the same time, I feel like it's a split thing. I did an Insta poll this morning just on that issue. And I think like so far, 36% of you say that, nah, that's not something we need to bring into 2020. That's something that needs to, that's something that needs to stay. It should never happen. And some people are like, listen, 57% of you said, never in this life should a woman feel like she has to shoot her shot. And 43% of you so far are like, it's 2020. Woman, we have the power. We can do it.
I agree with the 43%.
You agree? Why?
I agree because I feel like, you know how they say opportunities like, come at once.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like that opportunities are a one-time thing. And exactly, like the caption says, did she die? She didn't die. Like, I feel like you're not going to lose anything by going out your way to like just reach out to somebody to tell the person you're interested in them. Guys have been doing this since 1948, and we are still alive. We have grandchildren. Nothing happened to us. So what makes you think?
We should help you take the load off.
Like we already have so many responsibilities. This is just one thing that you can, take. And you never know. The guy that you want, maybe guys, he's also trying to hit you up, but he's too shy. Like he's not sure. Maybe some of your posts, he can't really figure you out because you look like you're on a date. Like you're taking pictures. There's two glasses, but you're not seeing the person over there.
So you are blocking your blessings.
Exactly. How am I supposed to?
You think you're acting like you got it all figured out, but you're actually blocking your blessings.
You're blocking.
Chris, let us know, please.
Honestly, like I feel like if you like a guy and honestly he hasn't posted any other girl on his like social media, if he looks like he's a very approachable person,
just go
who
for
won't
it.
do you bad, because guys, some people are like on Twitter, some people are just being crazy, like they screenshot everything and just embarrass the person. But if you see that the person is somebody that is relatable, won't do that, then of course go ahead and just like shoot your shot.
Yeah, but that's definitely something to be said though, because I do feel like sometimes I don't know if it's like an intimidation thing versus maybe women just appearing a bit too unapproachable sometimes. Like where's the middle ground between the two? Are you just acting so high up that a man cannot actually walk up to you, or is there really something about you that's just intimidating? And it also makes you wonder if I guess like for the feminists out there, do I have to live my life for the sake of a man noticing me, for the sake of a man approaching me?
I mean, one thing you left out, in my opinion, that like I really experienced like growing up was is like fear of rejection. Because sometimes it's not even the fear of rejection, it's the aftermath. Like the awkwardness after. Like I don't want to have to deal with an awkward situation, especially if I know the person.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So I would rather just keep my mouth shut and just like keep it going than like say something and then if it's not mutual, end up like having a very awkward 5 years. Because then now I wouldn't know how to approach you. You would look at me weird. Like you would tell all your friends. I'll feel like everybody's looking at me like, oh, this is the guy that
That's trying to get with her and nothing happened.
Yeah. Like, but once you grow past that fear of rejection and you realize that like you won't die. Like honestly, I feel like you should be
speaking to the woman.
Yeah, no, as in speaking to the woman, because like, what's the worst you can do?
Well, okay. So I'm gonna speak from a female's perspective. I think that it comes down to the idea that I guess the man is supposed to be the pursuer.
Where did that idea come from?
Obviously, he that finds a wife finds a good thing. That's where it came from. So there's this idea that's put out that the man is the one supposed to be going and doing the hunting, doing the looking, doing the scouting. And so if a woman puts herself in that position to want to approach a man, then number one, I guess you've demasculated the man for one, and number two, you don't know for sure if the man actually wants you. And I feel like with women that's one of the biggest fears, to be in a relationship where you're all over the man and the man doesn't like you as much. Because ladies, it pays to have a man like love you more.
But at the same time, I feel like every relationship carries risk.
It does. That's true.
Every relationship carries risk, and you, depending on your emotional capabilities, determine how much risk you're willing to take. In my opinion, like you can never know for sure. Like, some guys, like you see some memes out here. Some guys, like, they can show you 99% that they're into you,
and some girls still don't. Yeah.
And like, And then it's reversed too. Some guys can show you like, oh, they're really into you, but what they're doing behind your back, like
True.
you would think he's perfect.
Facts.
He's doing everything right, like giving you the money, giving you everything that you want, and giving you the attention. But at the same time, like he's splitting it 50-50 with somebody else. And you think you're living like, you're enjoying your life, doing whatever. But then you never know. It's a risk. Like,
It is.
yeah, like I can't really say, oh, like women should feel some type of way. You never know if the guy will be 100%. It's you're never gonna know.
That is true.
You're really never gonna
But
know.
here's what I'm gonna say. I think for me, as far as like shooting your shot, maybe not to the extreme of how our dear lady did over here. Maybe not to that. She didn't die. We can see she's very happy. You're right. Yeah, she's very happy. But I think not to the extreme of what the screenshot actually did. But I do think that one way, because to Chris's point, there is, so when it comes to, I don't know if it's like a new generation kind of thing, but there are some men that are, it's like they're sort of leery of approaching a woman because they're not sure if they're actually going to be accepted. Like maybe you do put yourself a bit out there, whatever the case may be. There are some men that are actually leery of it, and so they sort of just need like a
Slight
just
nudge.
a slight nudge.
Yeah.
Just a slight nudge. It's like this, right? Let me help you notice me. I know you need help. I'm fine. I can do bad by myself, and I could see you noticing me. But I could see you not noticing me. Let me help you notice me, because I know that if you notice me, you're gonna have the time of your life. Like if you notice me, things are gonna be different for you. So let me just help you. However, I'm gonna say like maybe the way Our Lady did over here with like, yo, this is my number, hit me up. You know, for me, Ruth Seal, that's a bit extreme.
I don't think.
However, like I think you can go into like a guy's DMs with a quick like, hey, how you doing? It's okay to start the conversation, because sometimes that's all a man needs. Just that notice, like, oh, whoa, okay. Well, if she's trying to strike a conversation with me, then I guess like
she initiated the contact.
She's initiated the contact. I guess like the wrinkles are ironed out a little bit, and at that point, if a man is interested, he will jump on that and continue what he's got to do. But I feel like this lady's was a bit extreme, so maybe to that, for me, that's where like it sort of cuts off for me. But I think it's okay. I think it's okay if you've noticed the guy. You don't have to be so pushy and extra flirtatious about it, because but it's okay. Like, hey, how you doing? Whatever. Strike that conversation. And I've seen a lot of stories about engagements and marriages that happen like that. So I think it's really just about that delicate balance. However, I do feel like the full pursuit, the fullness of it, where can I take you out on a date? Here's my number. The fullness of the pursuit, I do think like it should be on the man.
And I agree.
Yeah, but the woman can, you can start that contact. Like, remember the story with Richard? Apparently, I told him I liked his shoes. That's all I said.
Yeah.
Apparently, me saying, "Oh, I like your shoes," to
and
him,
that's enough for a
him was like,
guy.
"Oh, she likes me. Let me see what I could do with that."
Yeah.
I was just telling the man I liked his shoes, but hey.
But I feel like even with the hair and hair, it depends on you. Like if you feel like maybe I can go all out and give my number, you're just cutting out all the extra time, because maybe it might take 3 days for this guy to, like of texting back and forth before he finally says, oh, can I have your number? Or like maybe can I, so maybe you are trying to cut out the extra time. You know what I mean? So it's like you just want to go ahead, and cut all the excess time and be like, I like you. Here's my number. Text me. Just
Chris, you're just tired of men being embarrassed. That's all this is about.
Not really.
I mean, it's true though. Men have shot their shots for years and they've been turned down. They're always turned down. I'm sorry. I'm really into my education right now. I'm sorry. The Lord is what?
The Lord is my light and salvation.
The Lord is my light and my.
All ye darkness, get out
I'm
of
married
here.
to Jesus. I'm really,
And then
the men
there's
have been shut down a lot.
There's
so
the people who won't even open your message.
They won't even open. Oh.
Yeah. Moving on.
Dr. Apong says she's a go-getter. She knew that guy was the man, and she negotiated. Obviously, she won. So this is the courtroom of love. You go and negotiate. This is what I want. This is what I don't want. Story is like maybe in 5 years they could give us another screenshot with all their children. You never know.
That would
So,
be nice.
On to the next story. I am married to Jesus. On to the next story. So this is actually really, really interesting. I didn't know what to make of it, but I saw a headline. Today. A woman went to Target. She went to Target with her pastor and a bridesmaid. She went with her pastor and a bridesmaid, took her pastor and bridesmaid to Target because her man works at Target. And she's like, listen, we've been engaged for 2 years. You keep dilly-dallying. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what we're doing here. You're going to marry me today or I'm out. She took her pastor, herself in a wedding dress to Target because she was tired. She was tired of the confusion. She was tired of being, hanging and not knowing where they were going. And she wanted the man to marry her in Target, his workplace, his place of employment. That's where she decided to go do this. And I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think.
There's two ways to look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, if before like something like this comes up, I would assume, and this is the first way, that there must have been some at least conversation about getting married or something.
Yes.
So it's not too much of a surprise where the guy was just taken aback or carried away, and at least he has some idea that something like that is gonna happen. If that's the case, then I'm totally for it. I feel like the spontaneity of it makes it, I don't know, her taking initiative. I just like the idea.
You like that she took initiative?
Yeah, I like that she took initiative.
That's the man's place of employment.
It is so, but then you took initiative. I mean, it's commendable.
So they've been engaged for 2 years.
What? See,
they've been engaged. So for me, that part of the story, right? I feel like it opens up the window to so much more. And the first point of it for me is, number one, there are a lot of people that use engagement to sort of lock a woman in because they're trying to figure out what they want to do. I don't want you to leave, but I also don't want to leave.
Yep.
So just to keep you right here until I'm ready, let me just put this ring on your finger, and we never actually cross over to the next part of this whole thing, which speaks to your point, right?
Yeah.
So that's one aspect of it. And then I'm also thinking of how many times has she, I guess, made excuses for him? I don't know why that. I have
a question for you.
I don't know if I'm being too feminist tonight.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Ideally, right? What is the duration between when, or what would you prefer the duration to be between when you're engaged to and when
you're married?
Yeah.
If you ask me, me, Ruth,
your opinion.
My opinion, I would say maybe a year to a year and a half.
Okay.
For those that actually do want to plan out a wedding and all of those extra things.
Gives you enough time.
It gives you enough time to plan it out, send your invitations, book your caterer. I think a year to a year and a half at the latest for people that are serious.
Right.
That's what I would say. But generally, it depends on you and your spouse or your significant other. That's why communication in a relationship is super important. Both of you have to be on the same page with everything that you're doing. The same page, all your decision making. Because this is a clear indication that there's some kind of broken communication with the two of them. Because if you don't think so?
See, and I'm just coming from what is she standing on to have that much confidence to do that? And that's why I was there's two approaches at the beginning. It's either they had previously talked about it and she was just going ahead of the plan just to make it cute or whatever.
Talked about getting married at Target or about getting
married in general.
They're engaged.
No,
of course they've talked about it. There's a ring on her finger.
But why did she do it I don't know.
Because she's tired. This seems to me this seems to me 2 years ago he decided to put a ring on her finger 2 years ago, he decided to put a ring on her finger, and they've been having conversations back and forth about when are we setting the date? When's the actual date? And he keeps probably going back and forth, like, oh, I don't know, whatever the case may be. That's what this seems like to me. They just, and he's not being real, and he's not being straight up with her. That's what this screams to me. And I just feel like, no, Tim, Chris, what is this?
Nah, I'm standing for my man right there.
You're standing for your man?
I'm standing for my man
Why?
right there. Nah, because you never know. Like, maybe he also has a surprise, something coming together. Maybe he's planning. He has some fund, for a big wedding, or he has aspirations. He wants to bring family to a wedding. He wants to.
But you do that with.
So then
you
I'll
plan it
take
out
your
together.
first point. The communication is bad,
Let's
obviously. Yeah, let's do the communication one. How do you know that this guy, is stalling? He it's not always that he's stalling. You never know. Maybe he's the girl, and then how do you know that maybe this guy has wanted to get married? And then the girl has always been doing dilly-dallying. And then now, in order to surprise him, she's like, okay, you've always wanted to get married. Now I've brought the wedding to you. It could be anything. It could be anything.
Plot twist.
Exactly. Like, it really could be anything.
No, but in the picture, she looks angry, though.
Can we see the picture one more time?
She looks She looks angry. She looks angry. I didn't think of it from that perspective.
It could be anything. And that's what I'm saying. Like, as a guy, I'm gonna talk for my man, because you never know. That's not anger.
Oh, she got a whole mask on.
Yeah, we can't even tell.
That's a good perspective. However, I still stand by the fact that people need to stop dilly-dallying. If you have put a ring on a girl's finger, do the right thing.
I agree.
And continue what it is you set out to do. So anywho, that's that. So those are the two things we want to talk about today for Please Don't Judge Me. If you just came on live, this is Pillow Talk, and I am your host, Ruth Seal. And today we're really just talking about dating in 2020, what dating is all about, the kind of issues we go through with dating in 2020. And I've got Chris, my brother, here, and we're just chatting it up and having conversations. Doxa is stuck in, she's on her way. She got routed to, where is you? Rhode Island, but she's on her way. She will be here very soon. But I want to hear from you guys. We're going to quickly just open up the phone lines really quickly. The number to call is 860-756-0263. 860-756-0263. And if anyone would like to call in and chip in, do you think that it is okay in present day 2020, for girls or women to shoot their shot? In other words, to approach men about relationships. Is that okay, or is that something that we need to leave alone? Call in. I would love to hear your opinion on the issue, whether you think, if you're for it, if you are against it. Again, the number to call, 860-756-0263. 0263. 860-756-0263. So they don't even wear the ring as fashion lately. Yes. But in the meantime, as we're waiting for this call, we're gonna jump right into today's discussion and go right into the meat of it. But yes, please do call us. When you call in, we're going to take that call and listen to what you have to say. So we're going to talk about defining relationships, or relationships in 2020. I feel like there are some words that we see being thrown around in 2020, or even, I guess, in this generation. We say something about talking, dating. What else we got? Exclusively dating.
Entanglements.
Oh, entanglement. Entanglement. I'm in an entanglement. Yes. And we see that going around. I mean, I feel like, I'm not going to lie, I feel like if I was single in 2020, I would be really stressed out. Really stressed out with all the rules and regulations on how things are supposed to be. I loved it when it was just a matter of like, hey, I like you too. All right. Let's keep it pushing. But now it's like, it's all these things. You can't talk to a guy or girl for this amount of time, for this long, otherwise XYZ. all these extra things. So we're gonna talk about it. Chris.
You
Chris.
mention my name is like,
It's like you're
all
in trouble.
hey. Okay.
So okay, have you ever been in a situation where you were confused between whether you were talking to someone or dating someone?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I have.
How?
Um, nah, it's because, well, for that situation, right? I'm gonna say like what it was before I narrate the story, but I feel like as a guy, if nothing is being said about the status of the relationship and you really are interested, it's your responsibility to say it.
As a
So in
guy.
the case where like the whole shoot the shot thing, the girl doesn't initiate anything, you know, if you feel confident or if you feel confident in the ability for both of you to hold a relationship, I feel like it's your responsibility to go ahead and say something, right?
As a guy.
As a guy, right?
As a guy, we have to put it out there. As a guy.
As a guy. No, so I remember I've been in a situation where, you know, there's a lot of texting back and forth. There's a lot of calling late into the night, sometimes into the morning. And it's
Is
like,
the guy calling or is the girl calling?
it's
Both.
mutual. It's
Yes,
both, you
okay.
know. And it's like, even though there's a lot of interaction, like, I didn't see enough to determine whether, like, do I want to make this official?
What did you want to see?
I mean, every guy has like,
Can you, please take your notebook
Oh.
and pen and paper.
I feel like every guy has their standards. Every guy has their like I don't know, make or break. You know, every
Their
guy.
deal breakers.
Yeah, they're deal breakers. Every guy has like, you know, whatever that they want to see in a person. And I feel like at that time maybe I hadn't seen like the particular things that I wanted to see, or maybe I felt like, you know.
Wait, so sometimes you don't even know what you want to see. When it hits you is when you realize, like, oh, wait,
Yeah.
I didn't even know this is what I wanted in a person,
Yeah.
but all of a sudden, someone else...
And it screams at you.
It just screams at
just
you.
like that, you know. And there's times too where it's
Is
like,
that something you guys will agree with? If, like, sometimes you don't even know what you want in a person, but as you're sort of trying to get to know the person, you realize this is something I want. This is something I need. So that's like the talking phase. The talking phase is...
I think the talking
trying to
phase is trying to
discover?
get to know each other, trying to discover, trying to see if this is actually worth your time, basically, you know. And that's the issue I have with the talking phase, because then if the talking phase becomes like prolonged, that's when I feel like the whole thing loses flavor. It's like, okay, what's the point now? Like,
How is talking different from dating? Because sometimes I think it's also like a cultural thing, because I don't know, do Americans have, they do, right?
do they have what?
Like they've got a talking,
I think
dating
they-
happens
yeah.
before talking. No,
Talking happens before dating. So you meet the person, you're friends, you
you're
start
just
talking.
talking and then you start dating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Talking, okay, the way I'll define the stages is, obviously we know like friendship, right? You know, you're just my friend. Talking is basically what's, I don't know, in Ghana, what we'll call running, or like trying to woo a girl.
A girl.
Like, yeah, I don't know, in my opinion at least, you know, that's when you're trying to like get into her head, or, you know, try to get her to like you, try to, you know, develop like a chemistry or something, you know, give you 2-3 points here and there. I feel like that is the talking phase.
Oh, there's a caller. Hello? Hello?
Hello, do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. What was the question? I wanted us to go back to, and by the way, this is Isaac. Hey,
This-
Ruth.
Hey, what's up?
What's
Hey,
up?
Isaac. Where are you
was-
calling from?
Cincinnati.
Hey. Oh, that Isaac. Why did you say your last name? What's up?
IQ. Yes. What's up? I just came across the video and I'm like, this is an interesting topic.
Yeah.
So,
Thank
Yeah.
you. So, we were talking about, is it okay or is it right for women to shoot their shot today?
so that's a very good question. This is a conversation I was having with a younger lady a couple or 3 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
and I was telling them that in the times we live in, it's quite different, where women are complaining, hey, there are no good men out there, or you know, all the good men are married, or some of the men out there just out there to waste your time or use you or whatever, right?
Mhm.
And so, you know, I won't say, I'm not a proponent for the shoot your shot for a woman, right? Like the full shoot your shot, right?
Yeah.
But I feel a woman can also give hints,
True.
because a lot of men and some men, and I don't know the percentage, but would feel intimidated by, say, maybe an independent woman, a strong woman, a highly accomplished woman, and or a very beautiful woman, and they see the person and they're like, there's no way this person can be single, you know. And so you approach somebody like that, the first thing is, am I going to be rejected? What do I say?
Yeah.
A one liner. What is it that I say that will work? Or even if you even get to the stage of starting to talk, and I got into the portion where you guys were talking about the talking phase, right?
Mhm.
Even though as a woman you want to take your time and ease, not to be so forward, like you're so desperate for a relationship or even for it to go into marriage, right? There
Mhm.
are certain periods during the talking phase that you make certain gestures that gives the guy a hint that, hey,
You're
this
interested.
thing is going somewhere. Yeah, that I'm not totally wasting my time, or I'm not totally playing for her, that she's not totally playing hard to get, right? And I was
Yeah.
suggesting to her that, sometimes you can call him up and say, hey, you are the one who's always been, saying, hey, let's go out to dinner, let's do this. But then, and then usually she's like, I'm so busy, I have so much going on. And so why not once in a while pick up the phone and say, hey, are you free this weekend? You want to go out to dinner?
Yeah.
And it stuns a guy. And then the guy will be like, wow, she's really thinking about me, or she's really interested in me, or this has, the potential to go somewhere. And so I think there's, there's an adequate amount of, shoot your shot plus pull back a little bit
Yeah.
and watch things develop and not really come off too desperate, right? That's what I
That's
wanted to
really
add.
good. That's really good. Yeah, it's really just about that finding that delicate balance between the two. Where
Correct.
you're not like going
Correct.
all out like yeah.
Yep.
Wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
thank
I
you
mean,
so much.
yeah, 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 yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So that was Isaac, everybody. And yeah, he's basically telling us, it's about that delicate balance. If you do want to call in, the number to call in, 860-756-0263, 860-756-0263. And to Isaac's point, I'm going to say, like, yeah, for us as women, as you're giving a guy hints, it's not necessarily like you're putting yourself out there or like throwing yourself all over him, but you're gently just tapping him like, hey,
Can you please
look
give
over
us an
here.
example of some of the
Oh,
hints
look over.
that maybe you give
I've been out of the
your
game for a long
husband?
time.
It's okay.
No, but essentially, just like what Isaac was saying, like how the girl can hit the guy up like, oh hey, maybe do you want to hang out? Do you want to do XYZ? Or sometimes it's really just a matter of you being the first person to text in the morning.
Right.
Rather than you waiting for the good morning text,
Right.
you be the first one to be like, oh hey, just checking up on you, hope you're well, or whatever. But I think talking like that implies that you guys have some kind of communication. But for like no communication at all, like it is okay to slide into a DM and just say, hey, how you doing? But what I'm gonna say to that is, when you do sending the first mode of communication, or when you do try to like show the guy that you're actually there, whatever the case may be, don't hang on for too long. That's the only caveat I might leave. And what I mean by that is, like, yes, maybe you're extending yourself, you're sending messages, you're saying hi, you're smiling, he's smiling back, and then you guys are just talking here and there, hey, hi, hey, and after like 3 months the man hasn't like jumped on it, like, you know what, we've been talking for a while, I think there's something growing here. That's where you decide, okay, you know what, I did what I could, and he wasn't interested. So it's not about like going all the way and telling a guy, this is my number, call me, I'm trying to date you. You so fine, boy. I just want to be with you.
The, this is my number thing.
No, I think a guy should ask for your number. I think a guy should ask for your number. That I stand by that.
I think while that is the norm, I don't think it's also wrong for a lady to just, give her number. I think that's intriguing. It can be intriguing to a man.
It can be.
You left your vulnerable state and gave me your number. That tells me how much you want me. That tells me that you're willing to risk it all.
But do you know how painful it is for, like, let's say when the relationship starts going sour, and in arguments a guy says something like, I didn't even want you anyway, you came for me, you're the one that, like, that's painful. Okay. But you would never hear a girl say that, because I think like we're conditioned to have the man pursue us.
Right.
So even if the relationship starts going sour, a girl's not gonna be like, well, you slid in my DMs. Yeah, like, a girl's not gonna do. But a guy can easily turn around like, I wasn't ready. I didn't want you. You know, it can easily turn into that.
So then that's where your point about the balance thing comes in.
Yes.
Because it's like, even though I will throw my number at him and initiate the contact and do all that.
Hey, Doxa! Doxa's here. She's about to split all the bars. Or spit all the bars. Hi, Doxa. You can sit over here.
Hi, Doxa.
It's happening live. And she looks so good. Her haircut is on fleek, is on point.
Love
it's
it.
really doing its thing right now.
Love it.
Yay. Okay, so with that's basically the end. We were talking about if we're still on if a girl should shoot their shot.
No.
Okay.
Whoa.
She's like, no. She didn't even wait. She's like, no, don't do it. Don't do it at all.
Don't do it.
Because
Why? Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Wait, take a moment to breathe.
Situate yourself.
no.
Doxa is gonna take a moment to breathe. And okay, so someone sent a text message in as Doxa is breathing, and the person said, I met a guy who told me straight away that I should be confident enough to claim him during the talking stage. And I guess claiming in 2020 means you're posting me on your social media, you're posting me on the gram and your stories like, hey, I got a man. I guess my question to you, whoever sent this text message, is he claiming you
exactly
in the talking stage? So we're gonna come back to this text message, but Doxa is settled in.
I am.
She is settled in. So yes, you said no. A girl should
absolutely
not shoot her shot.
Absolutely
Why?
not. Well, first, what are we defining shoot your shot as?
Well, shooting your shot is number one, sliding into DMs.
Bold.
Yes, sliding into DMs, or basically just letting a guy know that you're interested. We already for Chris and I established certain things, and Chris said 100% because guys are getting tired of being embarrassed all the time because they've been shooting their shots for years.
So we should get embarrassed now.
Yes,
it should be.
Since
The whole feminist movement or whatever,
so let's
equality and everything.
Power to the woman, right?
Yeah.
And, but I'm off the thought that we actually, I don't know, there was a screenshot of a lady that was like super bold. She gave her number and everything. Oh, wow. But I feel like shooting your shot from a woman's perspective, it doesn't necessarily have to be so far as saying, I want to date you, here's my number. However, you could give a little bit of hint to let a guy know that you're alive. Like, even if you slide into a DM, you could just say, hey, how you doing? I saw you at church yesterday. You had a really nice tie on.
She's like the tie part.
The tie part is a bit
I
much.
don't know about the tie part.
But yeah.
Okay, so I guess by your definition, if shooting your shot is like letting you know that I'm interested, fine. Nobody can read your mind, so go ahead and let him know you're interested. It doesn't have to necessarily be verbal,
Wait, how else would you let?
You
By
know
saying,
you have
hey,
friends.
how you doing? Oh, so Doxa, you remember how you wanted me to give examples of how a girl can
Show
Doxa's the best
interest.
person.
Okay, Doxa, please break it down.
Please.
Illustrations.
For me, I think it's a bit of I don't want to say aggressive. If a girl's just straight up like, hey, I like you, I'm taking you out, let's go. That's a no for me. Like, you never get that from me. I'm not going to ask you out, please. My mother will even beat me. That's not happening, right? Sliding into DMs, I'm not bold like that, Like, if I know you in person and I think if I like you, I think you would know by how I interact with you, right?
that is different.
Some guys are
Some guys
oblivious to the
don't
fact.
know.
And yeah, so we're all just standing.
No, so
But then
so
that's where the issue is because there are a lot of women.
Okay.
We're just already the odds are stacked against women because the ratio is like 7 women to a man.
Right.
So the chances of a man noticing you out of the 7 that are available to him, and then I mean let's be real, some are lesbians, some are, so chances are just getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. So if a man cannot tell just from your communication and the way you talk that he's interested, it's okay to, I think it's okay to
give him a nudge.
I don't mind the nudge part. It's the part of like, hey, like
telling
I
him,
like you, let's go out and do this.
No, me too.
That one is a bit bold for me.
So okay. If
Is there anybody on here that agrees with Chris? Please. Is
No.
there a woman that's on here that's like, hey,
because per the example that we
like,
had,
is there a woman on here that's like, look, I will do it. I'm bold enough to go up to a man and say, hey, I want to be with you. Like, if you're on here like that, let me know so that Chris is not alone.
I think per the example we had, it's proof that there are women out there who are not shy, who are bold enough to state their intentions. If you're a woman like that out there, I don't want you to feel like it is wrong.
Okay.
That's my main
So
thing.
like, can I push back and say, if a girl comes up to you and say, hey, Chris, these are my intentions, let's go out, would you be okay with it?
I mean, what do you mean? If I'm interested, sure.
So if you're not interested,
I would respectfully decline, like women should respectfully decline.
and have been declining for.
Oh, no.
Oh no, not you. They haven't been declining you. Hey, fresh boy like Chris, who is declining Chris? Not you. I'm saying like you said that women have been declining men for years. Oh, there's another caller coming in.
Oh,
We're fancy.
I didn't know.
Hi, hello.
Hello.
Hello. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Davis. I'm calling from Manchester.
Oh, hi. Thanks for calling Pillow Talk. We would love to hear your take on the issue.
So the topic y'all talking about is very interesting, but we guys, we do say that it's normal for a lady to say, hey, can we go out? But the moment it happens, we are like, no, like, I don't understand. What is she trying to say?
Oh, for real?
We get confused. Yeah, sometimes we get confused. Unless it's like the person is your crush. It's like you've been crushing on this lady for a long time.
While.
And then she comes and it's like, let's just go out. But if you're not crushing on the lady and then she comes straight up to you, I want to go out with you, no matter what, you will be very confused. Like the fact that she had the courage to come before you and say, let's go out. Even though we want it to be normal, but when it happens, we don't take it normal as we want it to be.
But you're describing the exact same thing that guys do to girls. So then...
But I think it's normal when the guy is more so the
It's more natural when a guy goes to a lady to say, I like you. It's more natural to that. So with that, there's not much kind of complications or like confusion. But it's more natural to that. But for a lady to boldly come before you who is not your friend, or maybe if the lady is your friend but you're not that really cool, for the lady to say straight away, let's go out, no, you would think twice.
So it's wrong. Nobody should
It's not
do that.
wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. We want it to be like that. But the moment it happens, we ask questions.
Okay.
I don't want.
very good
Yeah,
point.
I'm just trying to get us to the place where we are not saying this is right or this is wrong.
But
Because
it can happen.
Chris
If you're a
is trying
lady
to tell
and
us
you're
to slide in his
interested,
DMs.
some ladies can say boldly, they can show some signs. They'll try to be with you. Hey, what's up? Where are you? Like, can we do this? They will not tell you straight away that I like you or let's go out on a date. But they will try to get around you,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
to draw your attention.
Yeah.
But sometimes, so we the guys, we feel like if I take this step and then she says no, it may create a problem with the friendship. So you know what? Let me keep my mouth shut so the friendship can go on smoothly.
Makes sense. It goes both ways too. Thank you so much for calling.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Well, I guess the conclusion on this issue is that yes, we're not necessarily ready as a society to progress into that whole situation. However, it's not particularly wrong. It's just not widely accepted. And so if that's something that you choose to do, if you want to go all the way out and actually say, guy, me feel you, me check you, I'm check you, I'm bum you, I'm kiss you.
Go ahead. There's nothing wrong. Do it.
If you want to do that,
Feel free.
but understand what it comes with. But I stand on, personally, my personal stance on the issue is that there's another caller coming on. So, hello, thank you for calling Pillow Talk. What's your name
Hi,
and
how
where are
you
you
doing?
calling from?
My name is Atta. I'm calling from Connecticut.
Hi, Atta.
Atta Papa.
So
Um,
what's your view on the issue?
I think there's nothing wrong with it. If a girl asks me out, actually I'll be really, really happy. But I think, guys, we just have ego. It's
True.
like, why is the girl coming to ask me out? I'm
True.
supposed to do it. But to me, dear, there's nothing wrong if that beautiful, lady right there asks me out. I would say yes, because she's very beautiful. See, right now I'm trying to shoot my shot, but she's not even looking at me. But yeah, I don't
you
think
talking about
there's
this
nothing
beautiful
wrong
lady?
if
Oh,
a girl
that's
asks.
Oh my gosh. Well, you just see us in chambers and we'll see what the Lord
Yeah.
can do as far as this beautiful lady's
Indeed,
concerned.
we're at top of her. But I don't think there's nothing wrong if a girl asks a guy out. It
Okay.
goes both ways.
Thank
Right.
you so much.
Right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So-
Bye.
So I guess that's where we stand. It's just not a progressive thing, but it's not entirely wrong. However, just know what it comes with. And for me, I still say do it within limitations. I'm with Doxa. Like, I'm not gonna go all the way out and say like I want to take you out on a date or whatever. So we're gonna close on this issue and move on to the next. Like, we were talking about the defining stages in relationships, dating, talking, and dating exclusively, and then officially getting into the whole. Doxa.
I didn't
there
know the
are
levels changed.
there are
I didn't know.
levels.
They change.
I
Okay,
didn't know.
what are they for you?
What are they for
I
you?
thought it was talking and then dating and then relationship.
That's what
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
it was too.
But I didn't know it
There's
was
a dating
exclusive
exclusively
dating.
because
wow.
apparently some people date 3 or so,
Oh.
and they are trying to figure out between the 3
At the same time.
At the same
Oh,
time. At the same time. At the same time. But I think it's also like, again, a cultural thing, right? Because Ghanaians we wouldn't date 3 people at the same time. But I think Americans look at dating as literally just going out to eat and coming home. Or am I mistaken? Hey, look at their faces.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's.
Okay, so for me, the stages in relationship, talking, dating, and then I think in the order, I think it goes from talking, dating, and then in a relationship. But some people,
I think
some
I would
people
remove
go
dating, though.
talking.
I
And
You
think
wanna
it was
remove
just
dating?
talking relationship, because in talking we're establishing something that okay, we're moving toward exclusivity. If we're exclusive, we're in a relationship.
I like the way you think.
The-
But
dating-
isn't okay? But
I agree with
like,
that.
if you're in a relationship, you're dating, right? No.
Yes, you're going on dates.
Yeah.
But you're not. It's established that you're not seeing anyone else, right? So in talking, you can still go on dates with someone where you guys are just
Yeah,
talking.
yeah.
So I think we can just subtract the dating
Dating.
part.
Phase out and just
Less
go to.
levels,
Okay, I see
less
what you mean.
steps.
I guess it is an American thing. 'Cause
I will
when
say-
we say dating in Ghana, dating to us is
It's
you're in a
relationship.
relationship.
Yeah.
But when we say dating in the United States, that's like
You're just
we're
going out
going
on
out to eat
dates.
on a date. We're going to Red Lobster,
Mm-hmm.
get chicken, biscuits, whatever. So for the sake of us and our culture, we're just gonna go from talking to in a relationship because that's what we know. We're gonna remove dating out of the whole situation. So when you're talking to someone, what would you deem as an appropriate length of time from talking to in a relationship? At what point does talking become a waste of my time? You have been texting me on and on and on and on, and then off, and then you come back and you're texting again, and
that
we've
one's
been
a demon.
Yeah.
Let him go. That was
Let him go.
serious.
And we've been doing this for like 3 months. It's going on 4 months. I don't know what we're doing. What are we doing? Are we in a relationship? Are we not? So at what point is talking, you're wasting my time? Right now, leave me. Let me go find something else to do. For you guys, from a guy's perspective and a girl's perspective.
I'll let Doxa go first.
So the pressure will be on me.
Respectfully.
Okay. So I think for me, the point where it's like you're wasting my time is where there is no intentions of the future, right? So when you're speaking of the future, I'm not included. Like, oh, I'm gonna go and do this and do this and do this, and I'm like,
where's my name?
Exactly. It's like,
where's the we?
Your plans don't involve me, so it's almost like you don't see a future with me. So at that point, I'm wasting my time, right? So I think when you're friends with someone, you're friends with them, and then you guys start talking where it's like, okay, we're friends, but there's romantic interest here. And then once we're talking, it's like, oh, like, I would like to take you on a date or do X, Y, and Z, all of those things. Those are like, okay, now we're talking. But if we're just texting, there's no dates inside. There is no, like, oh, like, what do you like? Like, what's your future? Like, there's no, like, question.
Then
like,
at that point, you have decided
it's a waste of my time.
Doing.
So duration of time doesn't matter.
I don't think duration really matters, but I would like to give it a max. Like, after we
max?
hit, like, the 3-month max where it's like, we've been talking every day. We're doing FaceTime Kiki, and then there's nothing happening.
You've seen me without a wig. What's going on? What's going on? I took my wig off. Like, come on.
Listen,
Oh my God.
If I FaceTime with my bonnet, just know. Like, just know.
When is the bonnet, you know it's real.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know it's real. If a girl doesn't have to be like, oh, hold on a second, my mom's calling me, and then when they do this to the phone, and then come back and be like, hey, what's up? If a girl doesn't have to...
You're letting out the secrets, please.
If a girl doesn't have to do that, you know she's hooked. So you better get on it. Chris.
No, but I agree with the 3-month mark. I feel like if after 3 months, and like what you're saying, if I don't even feel like I start feeling bad because, oh, Charlie, I haven't even gone on a date with this girl. And I don't feel like maybe I should go on a date with her. And I'm like, I'm wasting my time. Like, because I like her enough to be talking to her, but I don't like her that much to be going out on dates with her.
So would you say, like, actually going out on a date, like going somewhere together to eat, is part of the process?
It is.
Does it matter?
It matters because, in my opinion, I want to see...
I want
to see who you are. I want to get to know who you are, how you react to different situations. Because that shows me, like... your personality, I want to see what you like, what you don't like, and that can't happen all by the phone. Like, FaceTime is great, but no, I don't see how you use your fork and knife on FaceTime.
What is that got to do with anything?
Very important.
That's important.
That's very important. I mean, like that's important.
That's important.
That's important.
Mm-hmm. But I will definitely agree. I think that when you're talking to someone, there has to be a definition of what you're talking about. Like, where is it going? Because, time is not cheap. Like, if you had to think about at your job how much they pay you an hour, and someone's just wasting all of those hours every day. Hi.
How are you?
Hi.
Those
Like,
are billable hours.
Those are billable hours. Time is not cheap. So there has to be an end point or an end goal to the conversation, especially if that's something you're looking for. Obviously, I feel like when you're just friends with someone, you're just friends with someone, and it's not that big of a deal. But if someone new comes into your space and is trying to get to know you, but it doesn't actually like progress anywhere else, I agree. But I also think, like, as a woman in that situation, when there has already been an established mode of communication, as a woman, I think that you can try to define what's going on rather than I think so.
Also, the classic, what are we?
We're humans. It's okay.
Exactly. Living on planet Earth.
I mean, I think so.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Right. But so I think if I bring up, like, what are we, right?
Yeah.
And then, you're like, oh, we're just seeing where things is going. Mark number 1, we're just seeing where things is going. And then if you don't bring up the what are we conversation again, at that point, I'm wasting my time. Because it's not something that you're thinking about. It's not something that you're considering, right? So first, I've come out there bold. What are we? And then you give me some,
we're not sure.
So what if he tells you we are talking?
Where are we talking to?
Oh, so you will press like you.
Like, where are we going?
Yeah.
Like, if I get in the car and like,
where are we
driving,
going? The end goal is we will date, but
we'll be in a relationship.
we'll be in a relationship.
okay, give me a timeline.
Ooh.
Oh wow!
Doxa.
It's like that.
Because if we say we will be in a relationship, okay, cool. We've agreed that's why we're talking, right? Because we want to see if we can be in a relationship. So you're saying, okay, a relationship is where we're going. Month 1, we're still talking. Month 2, we're talking. Month 3, at this point, we getting PhD in talking. When do we
decide?
So like, give me a timeline if that's comfortable for you, and then I have to see, is this timeline comfortable for me? If not, let me pack my bags and go. If so, we stay, and you know.
But does it have to be stated? Because I feel like there are some relationships that also naturally progress into sort of a relationship, but you can tell from the way both parties act.
Yeah.
No one actually has like the conversation, but just in the actions and in.
Well, there are
Doxa is
relationships
like-
like that. I personally haven't experienced one like that. I feel like those are fit for the movies. Because I've never actually even had somebody close to me like, we were just talking and then one day we realized that we were together. Like,
How does that happen?
That is true. Facts on facts on facts.
Like, how does that
like,
happen?
I don't think it just happens like that. I think naturally one person has to bring it
have
up
the conversation.
to start the conversation.
I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely, though. I think for me, I would rather the guy bring up the conversation. So
That
I'm
would
like,
be the ideal situation.
ideally,
Yeah.
that would be nice. But we've come to learn that some men.
Just.
What's the story behind them?
There's a
Doxa, you got something to say?
Yeah.
What happened? Tell us what
I
happened.
don't think anything happened per se. I think it was more so
Whose son did it?
many sons.
I
I mean, there are 12 sons of Jacob, so anyone could
Wow.
be. It could be anybody. But no, I think it gets frustrating when you're in a situation where it's like, okay, we're talking, right? And we start off this talking phase with the idea that we're going to be in a relationship. So like, let's figure out like, okay, do I actually like you? Like the talking stage is really just like, we're interviewing for the job.
Yeah.
So if we interview and there's no like what do you call it? The package that they give you, like your benefits package, like we'll talk. Some people's
Offer
benefits
letter.
package includes like posting me on social media, like let's go on a date, like claim meals. Some people the benefit package like let's marry. Right?
Doxa, how you just go from post me on
That's
social
like
media?
a
We
jump.
are in 2020. The girls are tired.
That's a jump.
They're tired of like, okay, like I'm talking to you because I think you
That's
could
a
be my
huge fact.
husband. So
Yeah.
like my mind is on ring. And then you tell me like 3 months in, like, oh, we're just, seeing if we'll have a relationship. 6 months in, I like you. And it's like, there's no clear definition of like,
What it is.
on
What it is.
August 20th, 2020, we're going to make this a thing. Like, there's no.
Wow. No, but there's definitely truth to what Doxa is saying. I think even in the talking phase, everything in life is really about like-mindedness. So when you're talking to someone, even if you're not going to be married to yourselves, the fact that both of you are coming into the talking phase with the same mind of, I am talking to you because I am looking to start a family soon. I'm talking to you because I'm looking for a serious relationship. I'm talking to you because I want something more than what I've already experienced. It may not necessarily be you, but that like-mindedness, it puts a different level of seriousness on the relationship. It puts a different level of attention on the relationship where both of you realize you're working towards something.
Right.
So even as you're walking towards whatever you're walking, if you don't make it there together, you both put in your best. You both tried. You did what you had to do. Circumstance just whatever. But most often than not, when you guys come in with the same mind, like-mindedness, and you're working together towards whatever, you will get there together. So it's, I think, from the word jump or from the get-go or whatever we say today, like there needs to be some kind of establishment of what you both are looking for going into it. It doesn't.
So does that happen in the talking stage or before the talking stage?
talking
Like in the
stage.
friendship period, it's like, hey, like before we enter the talking stage, this is my mindset.
I would say so. In the talking, it's not. You're not saying. Wait, am I old school? I'm not old school.
I don't.
Look at me. She's like,
Like,
I don't want to.
I didn't speak.
No. Because I'm not saying like, you know, you go like right off and like, hey, I'm trying to get married but in conversation with a person, you know the person's mindset. You know where the person is.
Right.
Like it's a mindset thing. It's like an overall perception or an overall perspective, as opposed to I'm trying to get married next year. It's just a matter of like, I don't date just to date. I date for a reason.
Mm-hmm. I think ideally, like I agree with what you're saying, but ideally it should be that conversation should be had in the talking stage.
I might have to go back on that. I might have to agree with Ruth here, because I think if you just don't meet somebody and then all of a sudden you're in the talking stage, right? You're going to have some sort of conversation with them, or maybe a friendship might establish, right? In that, by just like, they're like some kind of women where you're like, this girl, she's a high caliber girl. Like, you just don't go and be like, hi, let's just talk. Like, you're going with like your portfolio already, like this and this is what I can do.
This is my
this and
full
this and
resume.
This is it. And then there's some girls like, this girl, yeah, we can go on a couple dates, whatever, we're talking, right? So it's like the kind of person you're dealing with, by conversation, you kind of have to know what their intentions are. Right. And by like, okay, like this person would ideally like to get married at this time. Like, they would like to date at this time. Just in conversation, like with your friends, you're like, oh, like, hey, like, what do you think? What do you, at least with my friends, we talk about these things, right? And then once you get into the talking stage, like, you kind of have an idea of what this person wants. So what you're working towards, it might not maybe be clearly defined as do like this and this is what we're doing, but it's like, okay, I know she would like this, right? Yeah. So this is what we're working towards. I think that sounds ideal enough.
I would say so.
Okay, I'll agree.
No, say what you gotta say. Speak for the men.
No, I feel like it's too early to have such a conversation. That could scare somebody off.
How?
Like, cause you never, like, for example, let's say if I'm looking to get married right away, and maybe like I can potentially get married to this person, but if during the friendship stage, maybe that at that moment the person is not ready for a discussion of marriage or whatever my goal is at the time, and I make that known through conversation, then in their head they're like, okay, maybe this person is not ready for what I want, or like, I don't know if you get what I mean. It could act the other way, because then it could go the other way.
But that's the whole point. Though.
But then if you start, might, and that's a big might there, because
but everything is a risk that you're taking, right? Like, your marriage might end, right? We hope it doesn't, right? Like, let me do one too. Yes. Right? So, like, it's like, when I ask this girl out, she might say no. Everything you're doing, there's that might aspect of it, but you still take the risk, right? So, like, I'm taking the risk, like, okay, like, I'm letting my intentions known from the jump. This is who I am. If you can't vibe with it, then it's best that, you know, we cut our ties and just remain friends, or like I go my way. Yeah. But to say, okay, like, maybe I shouldn't tell her this, maybe it would scare her. Cool. You don't tell her then 6 months when your feelings are deeply invested.
But at the same time,
and then at that point,
that's something of like that's something, that's a weighty matter that I feel like
marriage.
Yes.
But aren't we dating to marry?
We are dating to marry, but then I feel like the timeline and stuff that like you were saying should all be discussed during the talking stage, not during like.
So like,
if timeline of marriage.
No, because you know how she was saying something about.
So like, my question to you is like, if I go up to one of your guy friends and be like, oh, like, do you think Chris is like ready for marriage? They should have an answer, because that's probably some conversations that you guys might have had, right? Okay. So like, if I'm around you, right, and like I hear these conversations, we're talking as friends, right? I'm like, okay, Chris, like, what time would you like to marry? Like, or like, maybe we see somebody's nice wedding proposal, I'm like, hey, Chris, when are you next? And you're like, oh, maybe this and this is what time, right? In my mind, I've clocked it, right? So now that we get into the talking stage, like, we don't necessarily have to go back and be like, okay, let's talk about da. It's like a thing that we know. So it's like, when we enter the talking stage, we both know, like, okay, Chris, well, I'd really like to marry in 2 years. Like, that's something I can do. Right. So then we move forward in that stage. And then there are people that are like, okay, I don't know anything about this person. I don't know if they want to marry. I don't know if they want kids or any of these things. Let's enter the talking stage. And then your feelings get involved, and then you're in a relationship, and then now you don't know what's going on.
It's just a matter of defining who you both are.
Right.
It's not to say like you're holding somebody down, that hey, we have to get married. You're marrying me tomorrow, whether you like it or not. Whatever. You're not holding someone down to that necessarily, but it's just knowing their overall general perception on the issue of marriage or family or kids. Because the reality is, men will tell you, and I'm gonna, and he will tell you too. But men will usually tell you exactly what they want. Unfortunately, women, we don't listen. We're not listening to the words that are coming out of men's mouths. No, it's true.
I don't think it's all men, but
usually they do.
Some people's sons don't.
They just lie.
No, I don't think they lie. They don't necessarily say anything. So it's almost like you're guessing. It's like you're grabbing at things to like try to figure out what they were.
That's my point, though. Even
but, like,
with the guess game.
So, but with the guessing game, like you don't like if a guy likes you, you're gonna know a guy likes you. He's gonna make his intentions know whatever, right? But a guy might like you, and they might just like you for the time being. They don't see marriage with you, right? They don't necessarily tell like I don't see marriage with you. They're like, oh, I like you, and then you two, you just be going, and then you get there.
But that's a man telling you though.
If he doesn't tell you, he's then So we're saying that silence is speaking. That's,
yes.
Hey, wow.
Yes, that's a man telling because
Chris,
if a man
is that what's happening?
True. That is a man. That is a man telling you because when you're looking for a yes or no answer from a man and he cannot say yes or no, that's your answer.
Yeah, I feel like you should know.
That's like if you feel if you feel like you're being, I'm not sure, he's not really being straightforward.
Because if a guy likes you,
if a guy likes you, you would know. If a guy wants you in his life, you will know.
Like think what could possibly be an obstruction.
So what if the guy likes you, right? You know he likes you. He's made it clear, right? But he's not sure as to like if he's ready for marriage. So he doesn't say anything out of like I don't really know where my life is really gonna go. You know, maybe I'm not financially ready or all these X, Y, and Z factors, right? So he's like, rather than give you the wrong answer, I don't have to say anything now until I'm sure. Does that also count as like his silence to say no or his silence to say I'm not ready?
Ready for marriage?
Like ready to like, you know, do whatever you need him to do in terms of like marriage. Like let's say the girl wants to get married, right? And the guy hasn't said anything. And so if we're saying that silence is saying no, but his silence is like, I'm trying to really work out my life to see, like, to be able to provide and be a husband. Are we also saying that silence is saying no? That silence can also be saying, I really haven't figured it out yet.
There's a call.
Oh, there's a call. Oh. Hello, thank you for calling Pillow Talk. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, how you doing? We're at Atapapa again. This is Atapapa again.
Hi, what's up? Hello, thank you for calling Pillow Talk. What's your name?
So my view on this is like we just want to date. So why are we rushing into marriage? I just want to get to know you, date you, be in a relationship. So why are we rushing the marriage partner?
Are you throwing that question to us?
Yeah, to that beautiful lady, and then make sure to me short because she keeps talking about marriage and marriage. I mean, so I ready. I miss my ready. Why?
Hey, Doxa came to marry today. Do we have like a thing we can play that makes people laugh? Like, okay. So, I guess Doxa, do you want to answer the question?
Please, what is the question?
I think he's
trying to say like what.
Go ahead.
He's trying to say essentially. Sometimes people are just getting to know you. Mm-hmm. It's not an issue of like marriage. Yeah. Let's try to figure out where we are, and then marriage comes into the whole situation.
So I think for me, it will be, I like to look at it like, let's say you're going to college, right? You don't go to college and commit to all those loans and be like, I'm just seeing where it goes. You're going to college to graduate, right?
Speak on it.
So like, I have an intention, like I want to get married. In order to get married, you know, you meet somebody, you get to know them, boom. It's the same way. You enroll in college, you take your classes, you know, you get to know each other. You might not like some classes, you might like some classes, but you figure it out as you're going, right?
Yeah.
And eventually there's a graduation day in sight. If there's no graduation day in sight, why are you enrolled? Why are you there? If you don't see yourself marrying, just take the Paul approach. Be single, live your best life.
We have another caller.
We have another caller? Is this Doxa's husband?
Hi, this is Obini One.
Oh,
hello. I have a question. So I've been listening to this, and I'm very concerned about this college ideology.
Okay.
Sometimes you go to college, you don't really know what you want, and you go and try different majors until you find out what you really want to do. So how does that really translate into getting married while you are dating? I'm so not sure.
Very easy. Right. Because if you're going to college and you don't necessarily declare a major yet, right?
It costs you a lot of money.
That's fine, but you're going in with the intention that you're going to figure something out and then graduate, right? You're not going to college to just be like, okay, I'm going to stay here for 24 years to be here. No, the ideal is 4 years. Some people take 5 or 6 years, but there's always a graduation. Either you graduate or you drop out. Either we marry or you leave me alone.
Right.
But I think that's what he means, though. So the graduation. I think what he's trying to say is obviously at some point everybody will get married.
Yes,
right?
I'm not.
So
I'm not the type. I'm
will
just saying personally.
graduate.
I'm not the. At some point, I'll get married. I know I want to get married, right? So if you're going to approach me, sir, I'd like to say directly, if you're going to approach me, please come with the approach that marriage is in your future. Not 10 years from now.
I hired that. I hired that.
Please, I'll need those sounds when I go home.
Not
right?
10 years from now, not 20 years from now. Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be 2020. It doesn't have to be 2021 or 2022, but it's something that should be in your near future.
Right.
So, like, at some, like, when I'm 18, like, marriage, far away. 20, you're like, okay. 21, 22, 23, you're like, okay, like, now, like, I should be in the mindset of getting married. Does that mean that's going to happen the next year or the next 3 years? That is something that will eventually happen, but it should be in your near future. It shouldn't be like,
maybe,
if it happens, it
let's see
happens.
what happens.
If it doesn't, it doesn't. I can't do uncertainties, please.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the men are just getting a little fidgety just because the word marriage is being thrown around. But she said it best. It's not so much as we're trying to get married tomorrow. It's about the mindset of marriage. Like when you're dating certain people, you just know if this is something that they even envision in the next 5 years, 10 years. 3 years, whatever the case may be. And there are some people they do this whole back and forth. I'm not sure. Oh,
So basically, you're saying if you're not ready to get married, don't date.
If marriage
If
is
you're
not
not
in
ready
your
to get married, don't date a woman that wants to get married, right? So it's like that you're just putting unnecessary pressure on yourself because every couple of months, so when. But if you know, like, I just want to date someone that doesn't have marriage in sight. Like me too, I just want to date. But if you're trying to date a woman, like if you're trying to date a woman that wants to get married, then married, please, should be in your.
But plot twist, the two people that just want to have fun start dating, and then they end up falling seriously in love.
And then they get
6
married.
months later, they get married. And then the ones that are saying, I want to wait till the person with marriage in his mind comes, so there's.
I mean, like I said, everything has a risk to it.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to take the risk. Like, okay, if I take the risk, I'm waiting for someone with the intentions of marriage. You're also taking the risk that nobody will come with the intention of marriage. And then if you have the mindset, like, I'm just going out here just dating, you also have the risk that you date someone, and when you're ready to marry, there is no one. Right? So it's always like there's a dichotomy of, like, it could go this way or it could go that way. I'm pretty sure that's everything with life.
No, yeah, that's absolutely true. But I think to a degree too. I mean, maybe unintentionally. I think that at some point, doesn't. Or let me pose it as a question. Oh, remember? Let's actually answer that girl's question. The text message that came in. I don't think we actually touched on it. Yeah. Where she said she's been talking to a guy, and the guy wants her to claim him in the talking stage. The guy wants her. The guy wants him.
Wait, the girl
wants
him.
The guy wants her to claim him in the talking stage. So they've been talking, but he's like, I need you to claim me in the talking stage, I guess, as your man or whatever.
You're not my man.
Yeah.
Unless
even before that, are you claiming her? Like,
that's my thing.
That one, I think the guy that has to initiate.
Because
then that's too much for the girl to put on the line.
So she should claim you, and then she should propose to herself, and then she should marry
oh
herself.
my god, nah, that's too much. That one is too much.
Yeah, so I mean, to you who send the text message, I guess, I mean, you alone know the ins and outs of your relationship. There's so many factors of this scenario that we're not getting, but in your relationship, is this man also claiming you? Is he out there telling everyone that you're his girl, he loves you, he's, blasting you everywhere, and you're not reciprocating? And so he is like, okay, so what's going on? Maybe he needs your reciprocation to let him know that you're serious as well, and we can move this to the next step. Maybe that's what he's waiting on, to know that you feel the same way about him as he feels as he feels about you. So I don't know, like we don't know all the details of your relationship. However, if it's just a matter of you guys are literally just talking, you started talking, he's not claiming you, he's not doing any of that stuff, and yet he's trying to, that we will definitely say no to. But if he's trying to see where you guys stand,
or there's something you're probably doing that is making him feel insecure. Like I'm just trying to think, like why he would say that. Like, are you out there posting other guys and he feels like maybe you are not posting him, like you're posting your brothers, and maybe
this is
I'm just asking, like that's my cousin or my dearie or my swearie or whatever. There's different terms.
The levels have changed since I was in the game.
Yeah, but
I'm out the game. I'm not the game.
Tired.
Somebody has a question.
Oh, okay. What's the question?
Why do we have to put a timeline on marriage?
On marriage.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that this is in reference to if you're dating someone, why should there be a timeline for when you get married?
Yeah.
I think with everything, it's about intent, right? So why are we dating, right? So if we know we're dating to marry, right? And I'm assuming, let's say we're putting the context of, believers, right? Let's be honest. There are certain things that you're not doing in relationships that you can only do in marriage. Why suffer yourself when you can be like, okay, let's just go ahead and marry so that we can eliminate certain things that might trip us up, right? So it's like we're dating for how long, right? So it's like, we have to actually kind of define certain things. Are we dating and living together, or are we dating and living separately? Like if we're dating and living separately and we're dating for a long time, eventually that gets very, how do I say it? Techie, because it's like I have to come and see you here. This. Like, oh, maybe you can't sleep over and you have to go back. All of these things, it's like, if you can go ahead and marry.
And if you're living together, it gets frustrating because at what point it gets frustrating because it's like, okay, we've been living. This is what Doxa came here for. I came here to tell y'all to stop shit. Yeah, whatever.
No, because I think there's a lot of like this mystical thing about like marriage, or like if I get married, if you get married, like what do you lose? Like what is happening in your life that has like changed drastically?
But at the same time, I think we should also be careful not to communicate the idea of getting married to prevent like maybe sex before marriage.
That's not definitely, please.
Because some people really do think like
let me make my disclaimer now before my pastors come and see. I didn't say that.
No. I'm just throwing that out there because like there's guys who I talk to and feel like, oh, media, I want to be holy, so I have to get married early. Or if you tell a fellow brother that I'm really struggling with lust or something, it's like, yeah, hurry up and pray and get married. I'm like, no, your inability to control yourself isn't curbed by marriage. You get what I mean?
And that's how come you like if you don't fix that before marriage, you get married and it's still going to be an issue.
Yeah, it's gonna be an issue.
When you get married and your wife's not giving it up, are you gonna go somewhere else because
you're not getting.
You have to get.
That reminds me of something I just saw on the Instagram recently, where some guy was talking about how women pressure men into monogamous relationships, where when it becomes to the idea of sex, it becomes like a chore for them. So it's like, why are you pressuring me to be with you alone? But when it comes to sex, you are just, I don't want to have sex tonight. Bye. And it's like, so then let me be free to have. I was like, oh. Okay.
That's just like I can't win.
I was like, oh, at this point, who can win? But so I think the idea of marriage, like if you're ready to get married, I don't see why you're waiting, right? But if there's reasons why you're not ready for marriage, you should probably communicate that with your partner. And if they can wait with you, so be it. If they cannot wait, I think it's best if you both like part ways and go. Maybe God will miraculously make it happen. If not, at least you knew. Wow, you knew. Wait, English. At least you know it wasn't that person.
Okay, say that again.
So it's like if the person you're with, you're ready for marriage, and they're not, right? And they give you like, hey, I'm not ready for marriage because X, Y, and Z, right? But those X, Y, and Z things you cannot wait for, and you leave. At least you know it wasn't that person, right? So it's like, okay, fine, next person. But if you're ready for marriage, like you've been dating someone, you're ready for marriage, I don't see why we're waiting. I don't see any benefit in waiting. Unless, like, if you get married, all of a sudden your whole life will change. Then that one's between you and God.
Chris?
I don't know. I feel like I was thinking about, the whole ready for marriage thing. So I have a question. If you go through the
But
talking
also,
stage.
sidebar, I don't think anybody's ever ready for marriage. Like,
Okay.
you just take the initiative
Yeah.
and you just do it.
Yeah.
True.
Because if you say you're waiting to get ready,
You will
You will
never
never
be ready.
I was actually just gonna say let's actually define what ready for marriage is,
Is.
because I think that I don't know what point in our generations or what point in our coming up that the idea of marriage became so scary. It's like at some point it's like, oh my gosh, it's so scary, how do I do this? But so to what Doxa is saying, no one is ever ready for marriage, but it is in marriage that you sort of, you be ready, you take it as you go. I think one of the biggest things with marriage obviously is really the like-mindedness and communication. And if that's something that you feel like you have with someone, that me and X or me and Z, we communicate very well, where we really get each other, we're on the same page, we're working towards something, we're really going somewhere, and you feel like that's somebody that you can spend the rest of your life with, like, what else is really stopping you? I know, like, with guys, there's the issue of guys really have a lot of burden of security, where they feel like before they even take that on, with a wife and kids, they want to make sure that they have a house, a car,
have like 50K
money.
in your account.
Yeah.
Amen.
But it's not always the case. Sometimes you build that with someone. You get married and the two of you build it together. You build that life together. But at the end of the day, to each his own.
But the question I had though was, I feel like the way we gave a timeline to talking, right? So let's say you've talked for 3 months, because we said generally 3 months, and like, how long do you date before you start like requiring the talk of marriage from your partner? Do you get what I mean? Because like we're throwing around the phrase ready for marriage, like, and I'm like, that ready for marriage state might not be at the same time, like for both parties. Do you get what I mean? So at what point do you say, okay, like, I've been in this relationship for 6 months and he's not brought up marriage, or I've been in this relationship for 3 years and he has not brought up marriage? No, so that reaction.
that can.
No, so I'm saying,
Right.
can we like talk about like the ideal duration, or maybe both of you are in school, you want to finish your master's, like, I don't know, like, what's the ideal duration where you can start questioning your, like, like the 2-year thing that we talked about, so yeah, what do you think?
I say that again, it boils down to communication and not necessarily an ideal duration, because I think that honestly, one of the things that I try to be careful of, and I think that we all need to be careful of, is making systems out of individual experiences. So for person A, it's like, it works for me if 2 years of talking, we start talking about marriage. For person B, it's 6 months. For person C, it's whatever. So a relationship and two people, they define that for themselves. But the overall umbrella of the whole issue is being with somebody who is really on the same page with you, because even in the wait, even in trying to figure yourself out, you'll be figuring it out together. Like, you will both be
even if it takes 3 years.
Yeah, you'll be figuring it out together. And I think that that's the whole point of it, that maybe men don't understand, and they feel like, why are you putting all this pressure on me? But it's not so much as pressure. It's not like you're expected to be married tomorrow or in 2 months, but it's the aspect of conversation and communication where you're doing it together. So going into a relationship, you know what you're working towards, you know where you're going, and as you're in that relationship, you're figuring it out. Like, my girl really would like to finish school before she gets married, and you know that you're waiting on each other through that process till you both feel like you are sort of ready enough. Because I'm gonna say, like, 9 out of 10 times, every proposal that you see on Instagram or whatever, it wasn't a surprise. The lady probably knew about it. They've had conversations, because relationships that are working towards marriage, you would find that those conversations happen throughout the relationship. They may not pinpoint on a particular date, but you know, like, you're working towards something. So I wouldn't say, like, there's a duration. Like, okay, we've been talking for 6 months and he hasn't said anything about marriage. But that's what I'd say. Unless genuinely you guys have really been talking for 6 months and no one has talked about marriage, and that's kind of interesting.
I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think it boils down to communication, right? So it's like we might not necessarily mention like, hey, I would like to get married in 3 years, but in just talking with someone like, oh, I'd like to finish my master's, this. So you're like, okay, finish master's 2 years. So like at the timeline, you kind of just almost naturally build a timeline in your mind, like, okay, like when they're speaking about their future, right? They lay it out to you, and it's like, okay, marriage seems to come like after 3 years, or like, marriage comes like after a year. It's like, okay, like, I would like to, have a wedding in like the winter, right? Like girls will naturally talk about random things like, oh, I like this, this was a nice color for my wedding, and you're like, huh, wedding. You're like, oh, so you want to marry? Okay, oh my god. Okay, so it's like, okay, so she wants to marry, and then it's like, oh, does she want to marry me? Right? It's like you're with someone, obviously, over the course of like time, you have conversation. I don't think it has to be explicit, like, hey, like, when do you want to get married? Like, is it like, do you want me to propose in the summer so we do this wedding or this? It's like, naturally, like, okay, like, I would like to have X amount of kids. Like, oh, I would like to do this. So it comes naturally in conversation.
Right.
Unless, like, she straight up comes and says, hey, in 2 years' time, if you're not on your knees, I'm out.
No, but I think
That would
those
be
type
crazy,
of ultimatums are not. I personally think it's not necessary to do that, because then, like, what if the guy caves and just proposes to you because he just doesn't want to break up with you, and then his arms are twisted and he feels like he has to marry you just because. So if it's not working out,
Wow, it's just because marriage.
no, it happens. So if it's not working out, it's not working out. That's how I feel on the issue.
Somebody
So-
asked me a question. Well, I guess I'm supposed to ask the question.
Oh, sure.
So it's like, how do we define situationships in this whole dating relationship timelines?
Situationships?
Yay.
Girl, let me
Yay.
tell you
Yay.
about my situationship.
Please let me be
What was the question?
Oh my gosh, how do you define situationships?
Oh.
Listen, so a long time ago,
Do tell.
I was in this thing. This is a classic definition of a situationship. So, this person was doing everything that you would expect from like a boyfriend, but he wasn't really a boyfriend. And like calling in the morning, checking up on you when the person they travel and they get to whichever destination they get to. It's like, oh, I just got here. I'm letting me know where he is, so I know where he is. Those are things you only do with your girlfriends. You don't just do that to random people. And like little signs here and there, like, you're mine. You know what they do. Whole time, this man had a whole girlfriend. Somewhere else. A whole girlfriend leading me on, innocent Ruth like myself. I'm over there like, oh my gosh, leading me on. And what do you call it? So yeah, but when I decided, let me have that conversation, that whole who are we conversation, and this person literally laughed in my face, like, But I think, so to define a situationship, that's really what it is. Something that's undefined. You both don't know where you're going, or one party doesn't know where you're going. There's no real conversation about what's going on, where you're headed, what the future is. That is a classic definition of a situationship. A man that's not upfront about what he wants with you, and has you guessing and thinking and wondering, and when is this gonna happen? When is this not gonna happen? Leading you on, doing all the things that you think a boyfriend is supposed to do, but he hasn't actually like boyfriended you, wifed you up, girlfriended you.
I
So
need that on a shirt.
that's what I would say situationship is from experience, because let's not even get into it.
Yeah.
But thank God, the Lord had mercy on me. Married for 4 years now,
Amen.
with 2 beautiful kids.
Amen.
Praise God.
Amen. No, I'm just trying to, so we don't get it from only the point of like, the guy does this.
Speak up for the men, Chris.
Because there can be times where, listen.
Please, because we've all had situationship experiences.
Yes.
So,
There can be times where, let's say, you've talked with this person, and you're trying to take things to the next level, and the person expresses interest, but is dilly-dallying around making things official. And they're so good at it that you feel like if you fall back, you're losing something. but then you have to stay to see till like they make up their mind almost. Do you get what I mean? And not knowing all this while, maybe like you're saying, there's another person involved and they're dealing with the pool, trying to manage the pool and figure out.
But why are we dealing with pools?
Pools are a thing.
But why?
No, like if you have a pool of 3 people that you talk to
to
figure out
which one is this.
Which one is the
Wait,
one.
I don't have the
Supreme
capacity to even talk to one person.
No, but it is a thing. Like it's something that happens both with guys and girls. Okay. You know, because maybe you
Can you guys comment or text and let me know if you about a situationship or about this pool that Chris is talking about? Do you talk to multiple girls? Well, some of you probably not even fess up to it. So
yeah, but it's a thing where like you're talking to, like, maybe as a guy you see 3 potential people who they could be the one, and you're vibing with, you know, Ama and Ajwa and, you know, Ikea, and it's like you're still trying to figure out, you know, who is the best. Maybe Ikea has something that Ama doesn't have, and you know, it's like, so you reel them in such a way that you're not really not dating them, but then again you're past the talking stage. Like it's a little fix kind of thing where it's like, oh, okay, you're just trying to figure out which one to like make official, but you don't want the others to think like the relationship is stagnant with them. So you reel them in just enough where they feel like, you know, it's like, oh, he just has to figure 1 or 2 things out or whatever. And it's the same way with girls.
You reel them in just enough.
Yeah.
Say, why do we keep talking about men?
No,
women cheat too.
No.
Someone says women cheat too. Women also put guys in situationships too. It goes both ways, Chris.
And that's what I'm saying.
Okay, Chris. Right now we're gonna ask. Have you guys ever been through a really bad breakup? Has a woman put you in a situationship? Doxa, has a man put you in a situationship? Think deep. Go down into the archives. Chris, archive number 43. Section A to F. Section A to F.
Doxa, somebody agrees with me. Somebody agrees with me, actually.
Who agrees with
agreeing?
Cynthia.
Oh, both men and women have multiple people they talk to.
Like, I feel like let's not even.
Somebody block Cynthia quickly.
So blocks it. Okay, so Cynthia.
Huh,
So basically, talking to people is the defining stage, is what it seems like.
The Champions League.
Chris is talking about the Champions League.
No, but see, somebody also said I never heard of a pool, but people with benches. So I'm
Okay,
like,
so
let's
I can
not,
agree
let's,
with
yeah.
benches. I know someone in college that had a starting 5.
So
There's
let's not
levels
get
though.
in the terms. Like, you get the idea of what I'm trying to say. I think it's the same idea as the whole benches theory. You know, because obviously when you're talking to 3 girls, there's no way you will like all of them at the same time. There's obviously one that maybe you want, but the others are being benched. So like,
So, Doctor, this is new to you? The talking to multiple people to figure out. I know somebody
people
here
that
that knows about,
I know people that talk to multiple people,
Right.
and maybe in a past life you unintentionally talk to multiple people. That's fine, and I'm not saying that's me, but
make it clear.
let's be very clear.
Pastor Badu, it's not her.
Pastor Carl, they
Pastor
forced
Carl,
me to
it's not
be
her.
here. Please, I beg. But no, so I understand the idea of having a pool, but I don't think that necessarily equates as a situationship, though. I think you're just talking to multiple people, right? Out. So a situationship is like, it's almost like you're exclusively dating someone. You're exclusively in a relationship with someone without the title of a relationship. Like, you're not claiming them like, oh, you're my girl. But behind closed doors, like, you're moving as if that's your girl. Like, you're moving as if that's your man.
That's what I'm saying.
But, like, there's no official, like, it's just me and you. That's why someone could just look at you like, oh, we're just humans. And you're like, huh.
Wait, who said that to you?
No,
Tell me who said that to you.
Please, that person wouldn't be alive, to be honest.
No, but Doxa, I think like that's exactly what I was trying to say. That in that instance where it's like you think you're exclusively dating this person, right?
But they also dating.
But there, and that's what that's
what the pool.
That's what the pool thing is. So it's not the guy who is in the situationship. It's the girl, because like you can figure out why he's not moving things to the next level, but at the same time he's not letting you go. It's like, is this little?
But I think that's where the other stage comes in, the exclusively dating. That's how I think because of this pool is how exclusively dating even came to being.
Situationships, there's too many terms.
It's too many terms. I liked it the way it was when I was, but even then,
I don't think there's exclusivity. I think there's
people would like that. I think people would like, yeah.
I think there's relationship. If the idea of exclusively dating has to come in there, it means you're just cheating. I think that's all it is.
No, I think exclusively blah, blah, blah,
it's a mouthful.
Exclusively dating is basically telling the person who you're in the pool with that, hey, I'm in a pool. Are you also in a pool? Okay, we're all in a pool. I think that's what it is. It's basically saying, hey, I'm talking to other people trying to figure it out. So you're also free to talk to other people.
What if you don't make that known?
But maybe it should be known so that people don't feel like they're in a situationship. Because that's how the whole situationship thing comes about.
The situationship thing.
Situationship equals place warmer.
Yeah, see, that's
like,
what I'm saying.
They put you on a seat so they're ready.
It's like you are part of the team. You get what I mean? You are part of the team, but you're just not starting.
Do you get what I mean?
It's like that's what I mean by like they won't let you go. Like you will make the team.
So in case that the starters get injured, you
are
next.
there for the season-long replacement.
But that's the whole. So a situationship is within the bench or the pool.
That's the point.
That's what I'm saying. Like, then what would curb the idea of situationship?
I think Chris is saying that the person on the receiving end might be the one experiencing the
situation. That is my point exactly.
But you're just
So that's my point.
But then to curb the other person receiving it, let's tell everybody, hey, you're just part of a pool. You're just in the start five. But
then let's be real. Let's be real. Who will you tell that? And they'll still be like
exactly.
The one person that also has their own
So you will say it. You won't say it.
Wow.
It's weird, right?
It's very weird. But seriously, how would you think somebody else feels if you're really warming them up and can you imagine Chris Nelson? Or let's use somebody else before they report you to your pastor. Can you imagine wait, your husband that called, what's his name?
Hey, I have
Wafata or something like that.
Can you imagine Wafata talking to 5 girls? And then he's talking to a Ama Ekia Ajwa.
Yeah.
And then Ya goes and tells her friends, like, oh my gosh, I just met this cute guy. Like, oh, he was giving me all the vibes. Whole time, like, she's not even on top 5. That's bad.
That sucks.
No, think about it.
Man.
Think about it. Can you imagine making a woman feel like
Someone
that?
says they are starters, substitutes, and then the reserves.
Where is that?
Please.
Substitutes. That is bad. That's bad. No.
If you're in the reserves, sorry, man. Like
the reserves, what are you gonna do?
Like you just chill. Just take the salary, man.
So you can't even trade them on loan. Like give it to somebody.
No, technical, right? No.
At this point, it's like you don't even have to get into a relationship with your feelings. Or you don't have to talk to anyone with your feelings until it's defined.
You know, my mom always says
man, you have to stop.
Let me tell you what my mom always says.
What does your mom always say?
She's like, use the 50-50 rule.
Which is what?
Which is the first 50, and it's very important, is the first 50, like, use your head first. Like, once you realize you're developing, like, you are aware of yourself enough to know when you've started developing feelings for somebody. So at the point where it's not deep enough, start rationalizing things. If you feel like it's not enough, then it's not, you just stop. Just, stop all contact. Like, but then if you allow yourself to get in and then now the logic is coming after the feelings, it's very hard for you to stop or, halt whatever you've started. Why?
Somebody said water boys are involved too. Everybody's
on the pool. So I think that the conclusion on this issue with talking and dating, exclusively dating in a relationship, all these things going, definitely 100%. It really boils down to communication and like-mindedness. So when you even start talking to a person, you have to know where their mind is. Both of you have to know where your mind is. And it's not so much as a conversation of, well, I'm trying to be married. Are you trying to be married? If you ain't trying to be married, don't be like, it's none of all of this. It's really just a conversation. And as you're talking to a person, naturally you get to know where the person's mind is. If the person's even interested in family, if the person is interested in marriage at some point in their life, it's not necessarily like a today thing, but the communication is important. like-mindedness is important, and it's also very important for you not to lower your bar just to accommodate something that you feel you're not ready for. And that's something I actually stand by. Why you guys
No,
not?
because I'm being attacked.
Oh, don't
Please,
attack Chris.
I'm just waiting for Chris's heartbreak story. That's all.
Oh,
I think
really?
that people want to know.
Oh, what's going on?
Chris, what is your heartbreak
What is in your
story?
archives?
Oh, which one do you want to know?
Hey.
Because I've broken and I've been
No, we
broken,
want
so-
the one that you.
Chris,
that
you
somebody
broken
broke
somebody.
your heart.
Wow.
Who broke your heart?
Who broke my heart? Oh, this is long time ago
Mm-hmm.
in a galaxy far away. No, I'm before I even say this, I'm definitely against long distance dating because that's a recipe
God.
for disaster in my
Hey,
personal.
I hired that.
That's a recipe for disaster in my personal opinion. I was in a pool in that situation.
Hey, I
So
hired
you were
that.
the one that
I
the
was on the
situation-
receiving end.
So you
Hey,
know
I
how it
hired
feels.
that.
Yeah, you didn't
But
ask
you still
me.
like the pools.
No, not to be on the receiving end.
Okay. So you wait. Okay. I had a. Let me keep quiet.
Mm.
Continue.
But I feel like back then I had just met this person and I didn't get to know them very well, as in person, and then every other thing was online communication. So it was a lot of at the time I hadn't joined the iPhone gang, so it was WhatsApp video call.
Oh, poor quality.
I know.
What?
Poor
Hey,
quality.
I hired that.
I could see the pixelated face,
Oh.
all
Hey,
that.
I
I
hired
know,
can
that.
see why she left.
Yeah,
I-
right.
I can
'Cause
see it.
who wants to date someone with an Android in 2020?
Oh my god, no, but like it was a lot of talking on the phone.
Can we see it in the comment section? All iPhoners, if you got an iPhone, let me see you.
So it was a lot of contacts. Like we were talking on the phone for like 6 months before we actually met each other. And and we had started dating. Like between both of
I
us.
just
we were
want to
like,
clarify the timeline in my head. Wow.
Yeah, no, but I mean it was talking and then into dating during that time, And then when we actually met, it was a weekend thing, out of state. So like I went and met this person, it was a program. So when they found I'm like, I'm going to minister.
Hey,
And then,
I hired that.
so it was a 2-in-1 kind of situation. No, it's a long time ago. So
You
I'm
got a
yeah.
twofer?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's talk about it.
So I got there and then it's like Friday, beautiful. We went out to Chipotle. We had like whatever. Then I can't say Saturday we had awesome time. Then Sunday
In the house of the Lord.
Amen.
in the house of the Lord.
Hey,
That was
I hired that.
And then like on the Sunday, this girl's gonna tell me, oh, I had a good time. But this guy that I was telling you about? Which guy? The guy that always when we are talking, his snap appears on the top of the phone or whatever. And it's like, oh yeah. It's like, yeah, I slept with him, so I think I like him.
Hey, I hired that. Hey, I hired that. Hey, I hired that.
I wasn't expecting
It's
that.
like, oh, I slept with him and I feel like I like him now. So, and I'm like, so you're gonna tell me this on the last day? You made me drive. No. Actually, I asked, when did this happen? Did it happen while I was here or before I came?
No.
It happened before I came. You watched me
I hired
drive,
them.
do the marathon, tri-states, whatever thing all over the states. And then you watched, enjoyed with me Friday, made me pay for a lot of things on Saturday. And then Sunday, you're going to tell me this. That was very hurtful.
She had to let,
The drive back was very, very,
Wow.
stressful.
That's tough.
Stressful.
At least she could have broken your heart on Friday.
Break
So
my
you
heart
just
before
go
I
back-
come.
Before you
Break your heart when you're gone. It's okay.
Or when I'm gone.
In the
Oh, imagine the drive back. I couldn't listen to gospel anymore.
So just do some R&B and go.
Yeah.
With his fingers.
Yeah.
That's what you
So
were
that's my worst ever breakup story. That was a while ago.
Wow.
That. The fact that I still remember it tells you
Chris,
that.
They say you were free food.
Yes, she has
What
stored
happened?
your name and her contact as free food.
Hey, I hired that.
No.
Oh, I was free food
Nah,
fam.
but it's true. Like,
Honestly.
girls that do that, y'all gotta stop. Like using guys for dinner.
Somebody said.
Somebody said what?
Minister, what?
Please, I beg. That's not what happened. I promise you now, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. That's not what happened.
Wow.
No,
Doctor,
no,
what
no,
about
no,
you?
no, no.
What's
I
your,
don't
think what happened.
your heartbreak story?
I have a heartbreak story per se.
Are you serious?
I'm very serious, actually. I don't have a heartbreak story, but I do have some situations where I'm like, hey, so me.
A whole me. A whole doxa.
That's the point that gets your chest. You're like,
how dare you think you can't do this?
Let's just say somebody's son.
Somebody's son. I like the way you said it.
Somebody's son. So somebody's son happened to. Please, if you're watching, I hope you hear this. Somebody's son happened to slide into my DMs. I was minding my own business.
Minding your business.
It wasn't like I came to. You slid in. Well, you followed me and then slid into my DM. So by obligation, I had to follow back.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, okay. And then, I look at that and I was like, oh, this is a nice looking guy. So, conversation back forth, okay. Made his intentions clear. These Christian boys, it's okay.
Christian boys?
These
Christian men. Tell me.
These Christian men that have gone to, they've watched a couple relationship seminars, so they're like, oh, okay, so let your intentions know. That's what the girls want.
Oh my God.
If you are not ready, don't go messing with someone's daughter.
The seminar told them. The seminar told them.
Like, oh yeah, just let your intentions known. So let your intentions know. At this point, I'm in my mind. This is where I knew. I said, how you gassed over someone you haven't met yet? Long distance, right?
Long distance is not it.
It's the devil's playground for now. Unless your wife is long distance. Then at that point, enjoy. But, so, he made his intentions. I was like, okay. And typically, I'm the kind of person that, like, I have to, like, vet you before I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Because you don't want, next time, somebody has screenshotted you and you are just the talk of everybody's town. So I'm like, okay. Proper protocol. I'm like, God, when you start praying to God, like, God, you see me, I'm doing everything right. You see, if this is going to be right, let it be right. Cool. So, long story short, my friends and I, programs will get you. We went to a program in this person's city, and we were there for the weekend. So I'm like, okay, so we see this person. I didn't tell my friends beforehand because I know these kind of people. They will roast me. So that drive was long. So I was like, when we get there, I'll just sort everybody out, just do quick introductions. We get there, this guy comes. All the antics possible this guy could have done that weekend, he did. And it's like the kind of things where it's like, he was saying the wrong things. He was moving with the wrong people. Every time you're in the midst of all these women, it's like, I'm like, hey. And then you're just, because your friends kind of know who you are. So they're looking at you like, yo, you're going to take this? And then me too, I'm just there like.
Wait, what did he do?
I hired
Hey, God.
What did he do? Like, she really set us up for that. And she's like...
So it's like, so the person was like, the whole idea was like, okay, when we meet, like, there's like stuff planned, like, this is the weekend we're establishing that we're a thing, right? So this person said, like, I wanted to make you my girlfriend, like, a couple months ahead. I was like, no, you can't.
Let me
see you in person to be like, So there was a whole hype around this. All your girlfriends know. So like the girls that came on this trip, they're like, okay, it's about to go down. Everybody did that. We come. This guy is just like saying all the wrong things. Like, oh, let me introduce. Like, he actually told one of my friends. And if she's in the comments, please behave. She told one of my friends, like, oh yeah, let me go and introduce you to all the other girls that I used to talk to. I said,
oh wow.
What?
I literally stood there, watched this man say out his mouth, let me introduce you to all the other girls that I used to talk to.
I hired them.
Where were they?
In the program that I went to, the church thing. I said, God, it couldn't be me. But it was me.
Embarrassing.
I think
in front of your friends?
My friends are ruthless.
They're ruthless.
Ruthless. Please, I'm really looking at the comments, like, don't expose us all here today, please. Right?
Nah.
So the thing is, like, so it's almost like it was something that was literally a relationship without the title, right? So that's why me situations where I'm like, okay, they said they're behaving, we bless God. But that's the thing. I literally went to somebody's city to meet the person. The person humiliated me in front of all my friends.
That's wrong.
And then
that's wrong.
Yeah, that's disrespectful.
And I think when we came back, he was like, oh, I think you like, let's just end this. Who is
There's
somebody's calling.
No, they said that Papa won't do that to you.
Please, I beg. But that's the thing. And then after we got back from, our trip, he had the audacity to say, oh, I think we should end this. Me, that you did me wrong. That power play.
Is he Ghanaian?
No. Nigerians, God, are watching you people.
But he was Yoruba.
Oh, Yoruba.
As if you knew.
But
no, Yoruba
demons.
See, but that's the thing. You don't think they're demons in church. These ministry boys.
Oh, no. Unfortunately,
They're the worst.
They're the worst.
Thank you, Chris.
Unfortunately.
Speak to your brothers.
I will
I
try
hired
on behalf
them.
of my brothers. We apologize.
Unfortunately, I mean, there are some good ones, but some do hide under the guise of you wouldn't expect it from me.
Oh,
and
that
then
was
they,
I think it was the like being blindsided by you're like like you pray. I pray. I
pray more.
I was like, no, I think for also a part where like I was actually angry. I was like, God, how you gonna do me like this? At least embarrass me in my own city. Like, don't take me out.
I'm sorry, Doxa.
Don't take me across the borders.
We have to find him and put him. Oh, so yeah.
I'm not sure what was happening.
Yeah, but wow. Oh my gosh, look at the time. Guys, we have to start wrapping up. We've been here for 2 hours, but that's just what happens when you're having fun. So we're getting ready to wrap up. Before we leave, I'm gonna have all of us just give a quick, I guess, advice for today. If you're dating in 2020, advice for everybody from myself, Doxa, and Ruth. Wow.
Myself, Doxa, and Ruth.
Amen.
Guys. We are Ruth.
Myself, Doxa, and Chris will be giving advice. So I just want to thank you all before we give our advice or they talk. I just want to thank you all for joining us tonight. This has been so fun. Pillow Talk. Next week, we're coming back, and I'm going to be talking about daddy issues. Daddy issues and how we see daddy issues like play in different aspects of our lives, even in relationships. Like some of us, I can say that for myself. I've been through daddy issues myself. My dad wasn't around for some time. So just maneuvering through that whole dynamic. So next week, we're coming back. We're talking about daddy issues, how it plays with relationships and everything else. So thank you guys for joining me. If you have not subscribed to my channel, if you're here already, you're here already. You might as well just subscribe to this channel because so many amazing things will be happening on here. And I just want to quickly shout out a few people that I see like all the time in my YouTube comments. I guess my YouTube community, I really love you guys. You guys are so amazing. We have so much fun on here. So I see like Joyce, Salome, Pretty Carmel, Your Will, Not Mine, Lillian, Ezra Wellness, Arnold, and a few others. But these are names that pop up almost every day on every single video that I post. So thank you guys so very much. Thank you for being part of Pillow Talk. I hope this was enlightening or fun or whatever else it may be. So, Chris, you go first. We're just gonna really quickly before we sign off, Chris will give us advice for dating in 2020, at least something to help us as we're out here looking for the Lord's blessings. Amen.
Amen. I just want to say like, value yourself. Don't let anybody walk all over you. Know who you are and then go get what you want.
That's good. That's good. I will piggyback off of that and say that whatever standards you have set, keep those standards. Like, don't ever feel like you have to bring the bar down just to accommodate someone in your life. Like, there's a reason why those standards are there. So look at that. Allow that to actually help you make decisions in the dating scene, in the dating game. Don't feel pressured by anyone to be married at a certain point. There's no clock on the inside that says you have to be married now, you have to be married then. And I know right now this is the age where marriage and kids are everywhere. You scrolling up, down, left, right, and center. You're just seeing it in your face. But don't let that make you feel pressured at all. Like, we all know social media is just a highlight reel of people's best sides. You don't know what's going on in people's homes, what people are actually going through. They post a nice picture on social media and they go back and they're, calling their husband and wives all kinds of names. So just enjoy this time, enjoy this space, know what you want, know what you're looking for. Don't feel like you have to settle. And trust me, when the time comes, I'm going to come and sing at your wedding.
Amen.
Hit me up in my DMs. Like, Ruth, you said it. I'm going to come sing at your wedding. I'll sing, what song? Mary, did you know?
I'm not sure that's...
But that's the long and short of it all. Don't... Stick to it. Stick to it. Stick to your standards. Don't lower the bar. Because once you start lowering it, it's just going to keep going before you realize it's all the way on the floor. And then you can't even pick it up anymore. So stick to it.
I mean, I think you two have said it all, but just a tidbit. I think be aware of who you are. I think a lot of people have an idea of who they think they are, but actually know who you are, because sometimes when you're in certain situations, and that's when you actually see who you are, because you're like, how did I react like that? So knowing who you are and knowing who you're presenting to other people, and make sure you're communicating, ask questions. Nobody's going to read anybody's mind.
Facts.
And let it just be known, like, this is what I stand for, and that's a wrap.
That's it. So thank you guys so much. This was Pillow Talk. We'll be here again next week, same time, 7 o'clock. Tell your friends and join us. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Hi there, everyone. What's up? My name is Ruth, and welcome to my channel.